What's poppin', dogs? Mr. Allen here with quite the application problem involving none other than Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart. They are running a bake sale fundraiser and they plan to sell brownies for $4.50 a dozen. Now, they currently expect 175 sales, but they estimate that for every 25-cent decrease in price, they will sell an additional 45 dozen. Right, that makes sense. If I decrease my price, I'm going to sell more. If I decrease it even more, I'm going to sell more. But if I decrease it too much, I'm probably not going to make any money, and our goal is to make that money in a fundraiser, right? We also have some upfront costs that were $1,000, right? Maybe, ingredients and things like that. So we'll have to factor that into when we actually make money. We got a whole bunch of questions here, so let's read through a few of these things. We want to write a function for the number of sales and the price per dozen. We want to write a function and an inequality to model profit, and then we'll get some maximizing of profits and when we break even and things like that. Okay, so if I'm going to write a function, I need a variable that I'm going to put everything in terms of. Let's just say it's x, right? Okay, and I'm going to write down that x is going to be something, okay? But let's define that variable first, and then I'm going to write these two different functions here, number of sales and price per dozen. What are we basing everything off of? What is the varying thing here? Well, we're charging $4.50 a dozen, but we could decrease the price by 25 cents. And for every decrease in price, we're going to get an additional 45 dozen in sales. So it sounds like this decrease, if I decrease it, sales increase. If I decrease it, sales increase. How many decreases should I do to maximize those profits? So our variable amount here is our number of decreases, right? So number of discounts or decrease in price, let's say discounts. Because I can't fit decrease in price here with the calculator. Okay, so number of discounts, number of price decreases, whatever you want to call it. Now, let's write a couple functions, okay? So sales here, right? Sales in terms of my number of discounts. I will call that S, even though it sometimes looks like a 5, of X. My sales start at 175, but every discount, I get 45 more. So I'm starting at 175, but every time I discount it, I get 45 more. So how about plus 45x? Or you do 45x plus 175. It's addition, doesn't matter, right? It's commutative. Then we have our price per dozen, right? So the cost, the price. I will do price because I'm going to reserve P of X for profit, okay? So we'll do cost per dozen. Cost is a function of X. Now my cost is $4.50 a dozen, and we're decreasing by 25 cents. So we're going to start at $4.50, and I'm going to subtract 25 cents, so 0.25, every time we discount, so X, right? 25-cent discount. If I do one discount, we're at $4.25, and I have 220 sales, right? I add the 45. If I do two discounts, I'm going to be at $4 a dozen. I'd be adding 90 to that, and I get 265 sales, so on and so forth. But let's figure out maybe what the best case scenario is. So now we got to write a function and an inequality to model profit. Well, what's profit going to be? And I find it best to write this in words. Okay, so I'm going to do some stuff in green that's in words here. Okay, so profit is what my number of sales times the amount of money that I'm charging, right? Okay, so number of sales times price. And then I also have to take off my operating costs, my upfront costs, my $1,000 there. And every scenario here is a little different. Like sometimes it's a company doing things. Sometimes it's a selling tickets to an event, whatever it may be. Same kind of idea. Number of stuff that I'm selling times the price that I'm selling it for. That's my, is that like gross or net? I can't remember the business terminology. That's how much I'm going to actually bring in, but I got to subtract off my operating costs, right? And it's a fundraiser here, so I'm imagining it's a tax-free event here for Snoop and Martha. Maybe they're donating their proceeds to charity. Maybe it's to support the next Olympians in the 2028 Olympics in LA, right? Snoop's going to be back for that. I cannot wait. Anyways, back to our profit here. Now let's put this thing in terms of X, in terms of our discounts. Well, I've got my number of sales. I have a little function for that. I have my price or my cost. I have a little function for that. What if I just pop those guys in there, and now I have a working model, if you will. So P of X equals 175 plus 45X. Then we got 450. That's the current price. Minus 0.25X. And then we have minus $1,000. Yeah, we'll do this. Okay. So that would be my profit function. Now, there's a couple ways we could write the inequality portion. I find the easiest thing to do here is I'm just going to do, I want my profits to be greater than 0, right? That sounds good. So I'm going to write this guy right here. I have, yes, I guess I'll do orange. 175 plus 45x times 450, decimal place, minus 0.25x minus 1,000. Profit means that I'm making more than $0, right? We making that money. We made $1, profit. Made $2, profit. Made $1 million, sick profit. All right. So that's good inequality to represent profit. You could also have just put the inequality right here and just say that my sales, oops, I'm missing a parenthesis here. Oh my goodness, Mr. Allen, come on now. I can say that my sales and what I'm actually bringing in money-wise is greater than my operating cost. That would be okay too. So I could have put my greater than sign right here, but I like this one because when I graph this in my calculator, I'm going to be putting this function in there. So I'm just going to stick with this guy. Why change it up? Just say it's greater than 0, okay? That's my move anyways. You do you. You do you, all right? So now we got 2 questions. We got this all set up. At what price per dozen will Snoop and Martha turn a profit? So when are they going to start making money, right? And then what price should they charge to maximize profits, and what will their max profit be? Time to bust out the big dog, okay? Bust out the big dog. Y equals, type this thing in, parentheses 175 plus 45x, close them, open them, 450. You don't have to put the 0 there, but I'll just keep it all wonderful like that. Oops, no x right there. Minus 0.25x, close them, minus 1,000. Cool. I'm gonna double check here. I got the minus 1,000. I've got 450 minus 0.25x, and we have 175 plus 45x. Okay. Always double check. Make sure you're using subtraction, not the little negative button, right? Close your parentheses. You got your x's in the right place, all that stuff. Because the majority of issues come from people not typing it in correctly. And then they have the wrong function that's getting graphed, okay? Ooh, voice cracks. All right. Now I got to graph this thing. And if you were to hit zoom standard, zoom 6, I see 1x intercept. I'm going to get rid of that table real quick. Forgot I'm in graph table mode. It's pretty cool mode. But I'm going to go to full screen mode here. Hit mode, full. Okay, now let me graph. Boom, we got the big screen now. I see 1x intercept. Now let's think about this thing for a sec. This is a positive x, and this is a negative x. So it's going to be a quadratic function that we're dealing with, and it looks like it's a negative, so it's going to be looking like this. So this thing should come back down, and it looks like it should come back down further to the right, okay? Because it looks like it's kind of slanting that way. And there are other reasons why, but I can just tell from that, and that's how these problems are going to behave. How can we see more? Well, let's think about our function here, and we're going to adjust our window accordingly, okay? So I'm going to hit window, and what's the least amount of discounts that I could possibly do? It'll be 0 discounts, right? I charge $4.50. So if x is my number of discounts, put 0 in for x. And then what about my x max? What's the max number of discounts I could possibly give here to where I would be charging nothing for these dozens of brownies, right? They're just giving them away, charity event. Well, let's see here. 4 of these would make $1, right? 4 discounts would make $1. So 16, 17, 18, right? If you need to do a little math on the side there, you could do that. But 18 discounts would give me, and I'll even show you just in case, $4.50 minus 0.25 times 18, I said, should give me 0, right? I solved that one, got it to 0. So that's really my feasible region that I'm dealing with. 0 discounts up to giving it away for free, 18 discounts, right? So back to the window. Let's go to 18 for this guy. But if I hit graph right now, all I'm going to see are my two x-intercepts. I can't see the max. And that's my next one here. I could figure this one out right now, but I also want to figure out this one. So how do we adjust? Well, I could guess and check my y right here. I could guess and check this y max, and I don't know what it's going to be. I could try 1,000 and see where I get to, you know? But there's a better way. Okay, I'm just going to show you. Hey, that actually worked. But now it's a little hard to see the x-intercepts, okay? So here's what I prefer to do, is once I have my x-min and my x-max set, I chose them logically, right? I did the 450 minus 0.25x. I figured out what would make that 0 because that's a feasible situation for this scenario. Then I hit zoom, and I'm going to go to 0. Option 0 says zoom fit. If I adjust my x's, zoom fit will adjust my y's to fit the highest point on the graph and the lowest point on the graph. Boom. See how it gets all the way to the tippy top? And then over on the bottom right there, that's as low as the graph goes in that range, or in that window, okay, that domain restriction. So now I see everything I want to see, okay? So at what price per dozen will Snoop and Martha turn a profit? Well, I'm going to, that's right, my trace button doesn't work here. The point that I want where they're going to make a profit, and this is not how you're going to figure it out, but I just want to do this to point this out right now. It's at the 0, okay? Right? At my x-intercept. This is where we turn from, as you see, it's a negative y value up to a positive y value. Somewhere in here, I'm turning a profit. Somewhere between 1 and 2 discounts, essentially, okay? So what we're going to do is second calc. Boom. I want my 0. Now, for my left bound, I got to go to the left. For my right bound, I got to go to the right or above it. And notice how the arrows are pointing in, and there's vertical lines there that have the x-intercept between them. Hit enter one more time, and boom, I've got my 0, 1.4975, and y is 0. So that's the number of discounts, right? So what I can do now is I can figure out the price, because it says at what price per dozen will Snoop and Martha turn a profit. So I'm going to jot this down. It's 1.497, about 1.5 discounts. And some may argue you have to do a full discount. I got into an argument with Mr. Ernst over this today, all right? So if you're watching this, be like, hey, Mr. Allen called you out, all right? He says you can do half discounts or whatever discounts you want. I'm not doing full discounts. All right, so about 1.5 discounts, somewhere in there. But I'm a big Yoro guy. If you haven't seen, I got the shirt on. You only round once, so check this out. If I hit second quit, back to the home screen, if I do this guy, 450, 4.50 minus 0.25x. This is pretty dope. Your calculator has stored, check it out, x equals, whoa, isn't that value right there? The 1.4975, blah, blah, blah. Your calculator continually stores x values from your graph. If you're moving around the cursor, it's going to change the x value. But because I just calculated that 0, that x value has been stored in your calculator. I can type it in just like that. Boom. We got our price of $4.13, 125. So $4.13 per dozen. That's what they should be charging to start turning a profit, right? So they need to charge less than, okay? So let's actually put that there. Less than $4.13 per dozen, right? I got to discount it at least that. I'd start at break even, and then $4.10, I'm making money. $4, I'm making money. $3.95, I'm making more money, right? So that's really the break even point, $4.13. At what price per dozen will Snoop and Martha turn a profit? At that price and less, we making money. All right. Now, enough with the breaking even. We're not in the business of breaking even, guys. I'm in the business of making money, right? That's why I got into teaching, for the cash. I'm kidding, okay? It's been a long day. It's been a long day, but the math don't stop. So let's finish it up so I can stop the math and chill. Okay. What price should they charge to maximize profit? And what will their max profit be? Let's find the maximum. Second, calc. There's a little bug in the emulator these days. One day we'll fix it, okay? Maximum, and I want to be to the left. So if I got my maximum here, I can't just go up to this. A lot of people are like, hey, I got a different answer than you, bro. Mine's different. Well, it still says left bound, bro. All right, so we got to go to the left of my perceived maximum. Over here is fine. Hit enter. Go to the right, over the hill. That's fine. Somewhere over here is cool. And then also, you don't have your max here. They're like, mine's different. Does it say guess? It does say guess. Hey, hit enter one more time, and boom, I got my maximum 7.055 discount. So about 7 discounts or 7.1 discounts. But we got to interpret this in the context of the problem. Okay? Now, my y value, I plugged in my profit function, right? So my y value is, in fact, my profit. So my max profit here is $347.53. So profit, it's money, so we got to do dollar signs, 347.53. I think that's not a whole lot of profit for $1,000 in upfront cost. But hey, you know what? Maybe they're going to change their business model after this, okay? And then, let me make sure this all fits. It's fitting. It's there, okay. I know I'm kind of drifting to the side here, or kind of sloping down. What's my price that I got to charge? So let's go back to the home screen. And you can, once again, just type in 450 minus 25.25x, hit enter, we got our actual price. Because right now, check it out, it stores x as that x value of the max. If I see how it changed, it auto-changed. I didn't have to do anything, it just auto-changed. So you got to be careful with math and with the x, unless you know you just calculated it, then you can use it. Otherwise, if you want to keep it for a little while later, you could store it, okay? You can hit x, store, alpha, a. Now, a is not going to change. A is going to be that value, even if I keep on graphing and doing other things, all right? But for our answers here, we got $2.74. So price, $2.74 per dozen. Cool. Awesome. Did that all fit there? It looks really, really close. Cool. Awesome. Got a little screen on here. Kind of see it. That was a lot. Okay. It's a big problem, 5-point problem. I don't know, maybe 6. Who knows? Who knows who wrote it, right? Now, I don't know who wrote this thing on a test that puts the points on there. But anyways, there we go, guys. Got your 2 mini functions. Makes the big old function. Got a little inequality that's just the function greater than 0. Graph it, got to interpret things. That's the trickiest part. So always, always, always define your variables. X is the number of discounts or price decreases by 25 cents. Then you can interpret it right down here. There's a ton of interpretation of stuff in math classes, especially moving forward as you get to pre-calc, calculus, and beyond. So thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a long video, but I wanted to get through all the nitty-gritty and all the steps that you have to do to solve one of these bad boys. So thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.